Hey guys, it's Tamara. I'm back with another video. We're going to talk today about parenting styles, just because I got a question on my YouTube page that was about parenting styles and techniques, and so I figured that maybe we would spend this video talking about it a little bit. I'm almost sure I talked about it before, but we're just going to make this a quick video to touch base about parenting styles. So the benefits for you today in this video is that you're going to learn about 3 important parenting styles. Well, actually, I'm going to throw in a bonus one. So we're going to learn about 4 parenting styles. You're also going to learn the lingo and some of the idea behind parenting styles. And then I'm going to give you some insight into how I work with parents in trying to help them navigate their parenting styles. So one thing my mom used to say all the time is, Tamara, there's no manual. So I let God lead me, and I use my own common sense and my love for you kids, and that's how I was able to raise you. So I totally understand that, and I know some parents and some families are just totally frustrated because they don't know what to do. They don't always have the answers, and raising kids is the hardest thing in the entire world. I'd rather deal with anything else other than raising kids, right? And I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. So let's go ahead and jump in. Before we jump in, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, because then that way you can stay up to date with the types of videos that I post Monday through Friday. And like today, I do bonus videos on Wednesdays so that you can have videos almost every day of the week. So let's jump in, okay? So the most detrimental and most common parenting style, especially among parents who have absolutely no idea as to what they're doing, is the authoritarian parenting style. Here's the definition of an authoritarian parent. An authoritarian parent is a Hitler, literally, right? There's rules, there's regulations, there's boundaries, and those boundaries are not fluid. They're not fluid, right? They don't bend. They don't change with the time. They don't change with the flow and the direction of things. They don't change with the age and the flow of parenting and of the flow and age of children. It's rigid, okay? Like there's no getting through. And so there's no love that's being shown. There's no flexibility of mind and heart. There's no room for kids to make mistakes and bounce back. There's no joint attention on anything. And what I mean by that is that there's not enough, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not enough parent-child interaction where they're doing things at the same time or they're paying attention to something at the same time, joint attention. There's very little safety and protection. For kids, love and affection and privileges feel conditional, right? They feel conditional, based on a condition. And the authoritarian parent typically has little to no emotional connection with the child. It's all about doing what I tell you to do, and if you don't do it, you're going to head for disaster because I'm going to punish you, right? That's the authoritarian style. The authoritarian style also kind of makes kids feel like they're in prison, right? So video cameras in the house watching them 24/7, having multiple locks on their bedroom doors, having alarms on their bedroom doors so that they don't walk around at night and so you can hear when they get out of bed, right? There's no privacy. There's no ability to practice life and fail and learn better so they don't do it the second time around. It's very rigid, right? There's no forgiveness policy. I call it a forgiveness policy, right? Where kids can make a mistake or they can do something really stupid, go to their parents, explain what happened. It's an open communication, and the parents can address it, discourage it in the future, and then let them go on with their life. Authoritarian parents has absolutely no forgiveness policy, right? If you make a mistake, boom, that's it. And can you imagine what kids feel like when they are facing that kind of parenting? It's awful. So what happens to kids when they grow up under an authoritarian parent? Well, they end up having low self-esteem because they never developed the ability to manifest themselves, manifest their character, manifest their thinking patterns without feeling imprisoned, without feeling that they're going to get in trouble for even trying. Adults who have been raised under authoritarian parenting may also find themselves on drugs or seeking love and affection through negative routes, for the simple fact that they've never had that love in that authoritarian relationship, right? It was just rules, rules, rules. So they're gonna seek that love somewhere else. Kids also end up rebelling. They end up rebelling at some point, and they're like, I'm out of here. As soon as I turn 18, I'm getting out of here, right? I'm going somewhere where I feel like I can live a life, be free, be loved, and learn from my mistakes, right? So that's authoritarian parenting and the consequences. Let's go to permissive parenting. Permissive parenting is the idea that the parent is completely irresponsible. They don't tend to set any rules whatsoever. They just kind of let kids do what they want to do, right? It's kind of the idea of unschooling. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. Unschooling. Unschooling is the opposite of homeschooling. In an unschooling environment, the children pick their curriculum. The children pick when they study. The children pick what they want to learn, right? The kids are in control, and the parents just kind of sit back and they're like, do what you want to do, right? That's a permissive parent. What happens to kids who are raised under that? Well, they end up getting into a lot of trouble. They end up getting into things that they shouldn't get into. They end up feeling neglected and abused when they need their parents the most. Parents are typically partying or engaging with multiple men or women. Parents are typically asleep half the time or getting high or getting drunk to cope with their life. They work all the time, and they don't really invest themselves in the life of the child. Okay, that's a permissive parent, and kids suffer under that. Because whatever they don't get in here and whatever they don't get up here from parents, they're going to get out there somewhere. And it's typically a guy or a woman they shouldn't be with. They end up getting pregnant and wanting to be parents really young and realizing that, oops, I made a mistake, right? So a lot of things happen because parenting is permissive. All right. The third one is neglectful parenting. We all know what this is, right? I'm sure you can kind of, get some idea of what this is. Neglectful parenting is the idea that you completely neglect your responsibilities. There's no food in the house. There's no clothing. There's no love and affection. There's no rules. There's no boundaries. There's no engagement. There's no building of the parent-child relationship. There's no closeness, right? The relationship is such that the parent just had you. They just brought you into the world, but that's basically it. Like, you're on your own. These neglectful parents usually get in trouble with Child Protective Services because they don't seem to understand that you can't just bring children into this world and then leave them on their own, right? So you have to be a parent. You decided to get pregnant. You decided to have them. You better decide to raise them, right? So that's neglectful parenting, right? A parent who just completely leaves a child to his or her own devices. I've seen cases like this. I've counseled many cases like this over my 11-year career. And the whole idea is this, that a lot of parents don't realize before they even have the child that it's going to be a major sacrifice. It's going to be major, major, major commitment. And so when they finally bring the child into the world, they're overwhelmed because their idea was a fantasy. That fantasy was, hey, I'm going to have a baby. It might hurt a little bit. I can deal with the pain. But once the baby gets here, I'm going to dress him or her really cute. And they're going to be so cute and bubbly. And I'm going to love them. But then they realize once the baby gets here that, wait a minute, I have postpartum depression. Or, wait a minute, dad just walked out the door and wants nothing to do with me or the baby. The other part of that reality is, oh my God, the baby's colicky, won't stop crying. He gets sick all the time. I feel responsible for this feeble, gentle life that I had no idea, what the responsibility would be, right? So neglectful parents, most of them are really afraid and they feel inadequate and incapable of being what they need to be. All right. So that was 1, 2, 3. The last parenting style that I think is extraordinarily important is the authoritative, not authoritarian, authoritative, I'm going to put that over here for you, parenting. Authoritative parenting is a very, very nice mix. My mom was very authoritative. It's a very nice mix of love and affection and equality and open communication and compassion and empathy and forgiveness and peace, warmth, with boundaries, rules, the list goes on, right? So it's a combination of two wonderful worlds. My parents hear me, they love me, they adore me, they want me to be safe, they let me know their thoughts, they let me express my own thoughts, they understand my feelings, they make me feel wanted and loved and heard. It's that mixed with, I know I can't curse at my mom. I know I can't curse at my dad. I know I can't slam doors and walk around and be jazzy with my mom and dad. I know I can't call them what I want to call them. I know I can't use certain language. I know I can't lie and steal, cheat, right? It's mixed with those things. That's authoritative parenting. I think it's the most healthy style that there is. In fact, research suggests that parents who are authoritative, they tend to be more loving and more engaged, and they build a better parent-child relationship with their kids from childhood all the way to adulthood, right? The relationship is really firmly rooted in love, compassion, and boundaries. So if any of you find yourself in any of these styles, I encourage you to do some introspection. Ask yourself, what was my parenting like? And why do I think that this type of parenting is appropriate? Do I need to adjust it? Right? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you find that you've seen these parenting styles in your life? And if you have, how did they affect you? For me, my authoritative parent who homeschooled me and walked me through college and grad school, and the list goes on, I knew that, okay, I'm loved and I'm appreciated and I'm heard, but I also have to respect her boundaries. And I think that's healthy for most kids. So that, for me, allowed me to be able to explore life and make mistakes and fix them and grow and learn, and then become compassionate and empathetic so that I could help you guys and so I could help a lot of my clients. So it really does last throughout the lifespan. Depending on whatever parenting style that you have, it lasts throughout the lifespan, excuse me. So thanks guys for being with me today. I encourage you to give this a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. Hit that subscribe button so you can stick around for more videos like this. We're going to continue our conversation. I know Thanksgiving is coming, so I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break for a few days here, so I can come back strong on Monday. So stick around, because we're going to keep talking about these issues. Christmas is coming up, New Year's is coming up, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all of that. And so there's a lot of family dynamic in there in those holidays. So we're going to keep talking about this. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys in the next couple of days. Bye.